And here we are. We have Amanda Duncan from Board of Elections, our director of the Board of Elections. And I'm Erica Derr with Catawba County Libraries, and we are here to talk about everything you need to know about voting in Catawba County in 2020. And I'm just going to turn this over to Amanda. She has all the information.
Okay, thank you, Erica. Thank you so much. So we just want to start off with, this is going to be a historical moment here in Catawba County, and also not only statewide but nationwide. So we anticipate high volume in the turnout. And let's get started talking about the number one thing to talk about is voter registration. You must live in the county 30 days prior to election before voting. To register to vote, there's several different ways. If you're a first-time voter in the county, you need to complete the North Carolina request application, voter registration application. It needs to be completed, and it needs to be turned into our office either by mail or in person, if that is the first time registering for our county. Now, the state has a new portal through DMV that you can apply to register online, okay? So that will submit it directly to us. So that's a new feature, and that's a great feature. So once you're registered, you're in our registration books, you can vote. So there are several different ways upon voting in this election. The first is absentee by mail voting. So that's already started, Erica, here in the county. We have sent out over 10,000 ballots already. And to do that, one must fill out a 2020 state absentee ballot request form. That request form is found on our website. And it also, the state has an online portal that one can request online now that's available. So if you don't do it online, you can mail it, email it, fax it, or bring it in person, okay? If you bring it in person, it must be the voter or near relative, Erica. So the absentee by mail, once you request one, we will submit the ballot to you. You will receive it by mail, and then in turn, you will mark it. You will put your ballot in the envelope and then complete the envelope. New this year, Erica, is the back of the envelope only requires one witness.
One witness.
One witness.
Okay.
So that witness can be a family member.
Okay.
It can be a neighbor. It could be anyone of the voter's choice.
Okay.
It must be 18 years old or older.
Okay.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be notarized, just witness.
Just a witness.
Okay.
The common mistake that we see on the envelope is either the witness signature is left off or the witness address is left off. The voter must sign it, and the witness must sign it, print their name, and also supply their address. So that's one way to mail. To vote, and we will be doing this up until the Tuesday before election. That's when that stops.
That is the last time you can turn in your absentee ballot.
That's the last time we will mail.
Oh, that you'll mail the absentee ballot.
Correct.
I see.
Okay. Those are due back by mail ballots are due back in our office by election day at 5 p.m. Or postmarked by election day, and we receive it by that following Friday. Okay, and those will be valid ballots.
Gotcha.
Okay. The second option that we have, Erica, to vote is our early voting location, which is found in your library. Is one location.
Yeah.
The Newton Main Library. We also have the Hickory Highland Recreation Center. We have the Southwest Branch Library. That's the one in Mountain View.
Right.
We have the Conover Station in Conover.
Yep.
and we have Charles Ford Branch Library in the Charles Ford.
Right.
So those are the 5 locations. They'll begin opening, the first day is October 15th
Mm-hmm.
and run through October 31st.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the hours is Monday through Friday, 8 to 7:30, Saturday, 8 to 3, and Sundays, 1 to 5.
Nice.
Yeah. So those are the hours. So anyone can go vote at any one of our locations in the county. And if one is not registered, then one can register and vote at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, Erica. And they only have to supply a proof of residence. Okay. So that's a document, a government ID, or a document that states their name and address.
Gotcha.
It could be a utility bill.
Okay.
Okay. So that's all they have to provide is a proof of residence.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And the last option to vote is Election Day, November 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
So polls open at 6:30. They
Ooh.
close. Yeah, early. We're here at 5:30.
Wow.
Yeah, we're ready. So
We'll bring
polls
y'all some
open.
donuts.
Yeah.
Get you some coffee. Mm-hmm.
Polls opens at 6:30. They close at 7:30. And the thing about Election Day, one must go to their assigned precinct. Okay.
Right.
That's a lot of confusion we're having in the county. Even though your library, Erica, is a voting location, people still think they can go there Election Day.
Yeah.
They cannot. They
right.
got
Unless
to go,
it's their precinct.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. They got to go to their assigned precinct on Election Day.
And that is where their name will be in the book. Correct. At their precinct.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're correct, Erica.
Yeah.
So that's the different ways that one can vote.
Yeah, we've already had people come into the library asking if they can go ahead and vote, and we've been telling them October 15th. We have some of the absentee ballot request forms here that they can use. And of course the registration forms if they're not registered already.
Right.
And on election day, if you didn't register during early voting, you're out of luck, right? You can't
Correct.
show up on election day and register and vote.
Correct. You're
Yeah.
correct there.
Yeah, so there's really no reason not to go to the early voting. You got a couple of weeks there where they can register and vote.
Right.
Same day.
Right. So we got we're open 17 days straight.
Yeah.
And we're telling the voters, it's going to look different this election because of all the pandemic that's going on, all the PPE requirements. It is required for our workers to wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
That is a requirement from state board.
Right.
And then they'll see also not only masks, face shields. People that's working the floor will be wearing face shields, gloves. Mm-hmm. If it's a curbside voter, they'll be wearing even the gowns with the gloves, with the mask, with the shield. So we're following all DHHS's guidance on our protection for our workers. So the 6-foot social distance will be observed at all locations. So, because of that 6 foot, you will probably see a line because of the 6 foot distance. But I would just like to ensure all Catawba County voters that they will be able to exercise their right to vote without the fear of exposure of this pandemic.
Yeah. Because
we're taking every precautionary measure we can.
Right.
To make sure that they can cast their ballot safely.
And you mentioned a good point that a lot of people aren't maybe aware of or forget about, but you guys have always offered that curbside voting for people who have a health condition or infirmity that prevents them from going into a building.
Correct.
And so that's still available this year too.
Correct. And there's going to be more parking spaces for that. We have increased the parking spaces for that. They'll see a tent set up outside for our workers to monitor it all day long. So they will see those changes.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good year. You guys are always just right on it and taking care of everything and making sure that everybody can vote who is eligible to vote. I know even a person who doesn't really have a permanent residence, but if they have a place where they sleep in Catawba County, they can just provide that information. And is it an affidavit that they sign, or?
Well, they got to show proof of residence, but even those that are homeless that are staying at, say, at a housing system, there's some kind of document that housing system can provide them to register at that location.
That they're staying there. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So this should be good. And yeah, you're right. There probably will be a line, given that everybody's going to be 6 feet apart. But that line will probably move pretty well. It might be the fastest line you've ever stood in because of all that distance you'll get to cover just
Correct.
for moving up one spot. So
Correct.
they shouldn't really worry if they see a line. That's going to be normal.
That's going to be normal.
Yeah.
That's going to be normal.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Amanda. I
welcome,
really
Erica.
appreciate you sharing all of this information. And I know if people have questions, they can call the Board of Elections. But right now might not be the very best time to call since you guys are gearing up for all of this.
It's crazy here. What we're working on now is to make sure this election runs smoothly.
Right.
And it's accessible to everyone.
Right.
That's our job right now.
Yeah.
Make sure that's done. So.
Yeah. And you know, I am always one of those people that looks at the turnout, and I feel like the higher the turnout, the more successful the election.
Right.
And it makes me feel better as a citizen when the turnout is higher.
Correct.
I really like to see that just for my own personal.
Well, in 2016, Erica, we had Catawba County had close to 70% turnout.
Wow.
In 2016, so we anticipate and we're gearing up for 80%.
Wow, that's amazing. So we're above average here.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
That's great. Yeah. And we're seeing people, a high volume of voter registrations coming here in the office. People that haven't never registered before in their life, Erica, have decided they wanted to register this year. I mean, you're looking at older or senior citizens that's never registered before, and they've never voted. And
we had a lady come here who told, well, I gave her a voter registration form, and she said she had never voted before, ever. And she was definitely retired.
Right.
But yeah.
We're seeing a lot of that. Birthdays in the 20s and 30s.
Wow.
They haven't registered before, but they want to vote this election.
Which is wonderful.
Yeah.
It is, you know, we've done a series this year on the 100th anniversary of women's right to vote.
Right.
And for when you learn about all the things that the women, our great grandmothers and grandmothers, what they went through to try to get the right to vote, it really inspires you to just not waste it. You know, make your voice heard and let everyone make their voice heard.
So we can let everyone know whenever they come in to vote, whether it's early or election day, they're going to receive a pin. No sharing pins this election, so they're going to receive their own marking pin, and it's going to say hashtag your vote counts NC. The state has supplied these pins, so that's for them to keep to take home.
And that's like a 100th anniversary souvenir.
That's right. That's right. So everyone will be receiving their own pin.
How cool is that? That's great. All right. Well, thank you so much. Unless you have anything else, I think we'll go ahead and say goodbye for now, and I'm sure we'll see you over here at the library.
I'm sure you will.
Okay.
Thank you, Erica.
Thank you
so much.